So I just want to start off with this. The free flow of information is absolutely essential to the functioning of democracy. And since 2001, the burgeoning national security state has made it impossible for us as citizens to make informed choices. More and more, this has been the case. We've seen not only has the government tried to shroud all of its activities in secret, but at the same time we see that the corporate-dominated media no longer performs its function as a watchdog, as a check to hold those in power accountable. It actually serves to help to cover up the crimes of the powerful, and it really only talks about crime when it's working class people or poor people's crime. And we also see that, especially since 2001, the judiciary, the federal judiciary, has really had has really been very meek and subservient to the executive claim, the power grabs, these claims of executive power that the Bush and now the Obama administration has claimed. And so, in this context, we see that really Bradley Manning and Wikileaks and whistleblowing in general is really one of the only effective means left to lift the veil of secrecy on what the actions that our government carries out in our names. And what we've seen through the WikiLeaks exposures is massive amounts of corruption, exposure of war crimes. We see that many of the things that our government denounces that other countries do, countries that our government calls despotism or tyrannical governments, they criticize many of the same things that they criticize. We find that our own government has been doing. And so what we've seen under the Obama administration thus far is really this ramped up war on whistleblowers. The Obama administration has currently prosecuting 6 people under the 1917 Espionage Act, which is more prosecutions of whistleblowers than under this law than any previous presidential administration. And this attack on whistleblowers it's essentially an attack on the public's right to know what our government does. And this attack isn't just one-sided either. It's bipartisan. It's both the Republican and the Democratic politicians who are both subservient to the ruling class in our country, which have been carrying out this attack. So why this attack on whistleblowers? What's the main reason that we see people like Bradley Manning and Thomas Drake and these people who expose corruption? Why is there a war on them? Well, it seems to me that the message that the administration is trying to put out when they put Bradley Manning in solitary confinement for 10 months or destroy the lives of other whistleblowers is to send a message out to other people that might be in a position to see information that the public needs, and to make sure that they think before that they release that information. You see what we did to Bradley Manning. You see what we did to Thomas Drake. You see what we do to these people. We will destroy your lives if you consider exposing the crimes of the powerful. And that's the message that they've been trying to send. And it's an effective message, you know, and it has a real chill on people in positions to expose this type of information. So what we've seen through the Bush and now the Obama administrations is 2 main things happening. And that's while our privacy and our civil liberties as U.S. citizens get less and less and less. At the same time that's happening, the government's secrecy, its ability to hide everything it does while at the same time knowing more and more about us is constantly happening. And so I say that if Bradley Manning is guilty, if you want to call it that, of what he's alleged to have done, then I say he's a hero. And it's not just, you know, it's a lot of people saying that. Daniel Ellsberg, who released the Pentagon Papers, many people around the world who fight for transparency and for justice in many different cases are calling Bradley Manning a hero if he actually did what he is alleged to have done. And I think really the only way, in terms of how we fight back against what's been going on, the only way that we're really going to fight back against the accumulation of state powers and the constant reduction of our civil liberties is not by voting in better politicians, but it's by actually joining in movements and really building the power of people, whether it be the anti-war movement, the movement here in California against austerity, against the budget cuts, really joining in movements and building our powers of people, I think is the only way that we're gonna change things. And I'll just leave you with this last final thing, and it's the words of the lay historian Howard Zinn, and he pointed this out in the 1970s. Lacking traditional forms of power and wealth, we can only create a force out of what we have. Our assembled selves, our ability to withhold our labor, to withdraw our compliance, to take and hold cooperatively the resources of our land. Thank you. Thank you.